while it's hard to forget, video games are still pretty new, all things considered. It's only now that we're really seeing what's capable with them, and that opens up doors we may not want to be opened, especially because those doors suck. It happens though, and it happens time and time again, and every time we have to swallow crap and like it, even though we don't like it, because who wants to eat crap? Nobody, I'd hope. I'm Simon from WhatCulture.com. This is 8 ways the video game industry punishes its most loyal consumers. Number 8. Any launch version of a new console sucks. Now, it may not suck when it's first released, but with hindsight, it always becomes apparent that whatever the first version of a new console is will be the worst one. Be it firmware patches or proper upgrades that are actually better, there's no way the original entry is any good. Because it's not. Look at the Xbox One. It was a mess on release and took multiple reworks before it actually made sense. Hell, it came bundled with Kinect originally, and that cost a fortune. Then there's slim iterations, Elites, Pros, X's. You never know what's coming next, but you damn well know it'll make that box you spent hundreds of pounds on look stupid and make you feel stupid as well. Never forget the red ring of death for the Xbox 360. Consoles just dying for no reason, and you being punished because you had the audacity to buy it on day one. Great. Number 7. You can't refund digital purchases. You can still buy games physically, of course, but if you're trying to embrace the future and go digital and something goes wrong, or trying to get a refund is damn tough. Microsoft are doing okay with it at the moment and do allow full games to be refunded if you've played for less than 2 hours across a 14-day period. For Sony, it's nonsense though, as they say, if you change your mind about a purchase made from the PlayStation Store, you can make a request to your PSN wallet within 14 days from the date of transaction, provided that you've not started downloading or streaming your purchase. So basically, you can claim a refund if you accidentally ordered something and didn't follow through on the download. But what if the game is broken or genuinely screws you over? Tough luck. You shouldn't have even thought about it, should you? Now go think about what you've done. Number 6. Midnight launch servers never work. Another kick in the face for those who pre-order. Actually trying to play your purchase when it unlocks at midnight will 99% of the time result in a disconnect screen. Even the mighty Destiny 2, which actually broke the trend back in 2014 when it originally dropped, launched with elongated load times on PS4, leading it to being taken offline altogether whilst Bungie sought out a fix. Wonderbar. At this stage, it's common knowledge that there's no way for real-world server load to be adequately tested. But should the consumer even care? Don't advertise your game as functioning and hoover up pre-orders or deluxe edition profits in the process, only to not deliver in the end. That's just not very nice. Not very nice at all. Number 5. If a game is too broken, developers will ignore it. While studios like Hello Games spent a year working on No Man's Sky, other companies aren't as nice, namely 343 Industries, who just abandoned Halo Master Chief Collection when they realised there was too many bugs to fix. And because they wanted to work on Halo 5. Peter Molyneux did the same with his Kickstarter project. If you looked at EA's handling of Battlefield 4, it once again ended with them washing their hands of the whole production and moving on. Because it was time to move on. Now I get there has to be a cut-off point eventually, but what does that mean to the fans? Again, you just have to suck it down and take it. And that's why you never buy stuff on day one. Number 4, all DLC will be released in a Game of the Year edition. We all spend loads of cash on DLC, then a few months later a Game of the Year edition is released where you can get everything at a lower cost. That's smart business, and again, you're basically playing for being able to play it earlier. But it always does seem a bit unfair when the hardcore base is used in such a manner. It gets worse with season passes because half the time you throw some cash at one, even when the developer has no idea what they're actually going to put out there. So it actually makes sense to wait and see if it's worthwhile. Because half the time, it's not. It's just a bunch of garbage. This isn't exactly the kind of thing you want to do when you're trying to build an audience that trusts you, because all you do is come across as untrustworthy. Number 3, microtransactions. Microtransactions are a weird thing to criticize because you don't have to buy them, yet a lot of games are built around enticing you to do so. It's a bit like a massive fight. If you're a young pup though and susceptible to such things, you may buy in without realising. They're just the new standard today, an in-game currency that is bought using real cash and promises cool new gear that will help with your experience. It's making millions for publishers over the world. It gets a bit murky when the reward is random loot boxes too, because now we're basically telling people to gamble. What does that mean if a 12-year-old is doing this? Kids just paying out ducats and hoping their luck is in. Young and impressionable individuals shouldn't be allowed to do that, and that's why Casino is 18 rated. Number 2, games are always better after launch. Much like consoles, games only get better once they're out, mostly because the internet and patches has ruined everything. Never had to do that with a SNES, did you? You got a cartridge and it just worked. There's no substitute for an entire planet's worth of feedback, however. And though many games tend to ship with bugs and glitches day one, the amount of fixes that get rolled out addressing specific issues go hand in hand with communities pointing them out in the first place. That means in 2017 it all comes down to how much you value being in on that launch day conversation. So if you don't care, you should wait, always. Otherwise, you'll be dealing with unfinished nonsense for ages. Number 1, prices can and will drop almost instantly. As mentioned, that key launch window is when prices skyrocket, mimicking whatever level of interest you'll see for a given product. However, once that's gone, and it only takes a couple of weeks to a month, prices will drop considerably, doubly so if there's a major holiday around the corner. Games like Mass Effect Andromeda and Dishonored 2 only stayed at full cost for a minimal amount of time. And as we can identify the sorts of games that can sustain selling for £60, all you gotta do is wait for the buzz to die down, and you know you're gonna get a discount. If you wait too, that game will probably work better as well. That's a win-win. Know of any other ways the video game industry punishes its most loyal consumers? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you go tell What Culture on Twitter to @WhatCulture, then head on over to whatculture.com and read yourself some articles. My name is Simon from What Culture, and this was my voice, naturally.